Hey guys, I'll spare you the drama on this one. Yeah, it's another Predicta. Not to say I'm getting bored with them, and I hope you're not, but I've certainly shown you a bunch of Predictas over the years. 17-inch Princess, I've already got one. That is one of the first sets I ever got, similar to this in beige, and that was also rusty. I painted it red. Did a restoration series on it. It's basically done. I do need to do a final wrap-up video on it. This one I got, well, because I couldn't resist. I got a tip from somebody online. You know who you are. It's a great deal. I couldn't pass up on it. It was from a new, I guess I don't know if it's an auction site or you can just buy it now, but it's an online marketplace. And it was free shipping. Dual-edged sword. Yeah, I got a really good deal on it. That's why I bought it. But also, when you get things cheap or with free shipping, the sellers tend to really skimp on the shipping. Considered contacting the seller and saying, hey, that's a fragile item. I'm willing to pay more for shipping. However, when you do that, you can also tip them off that, hey, it's actually something valuable, and they can sometimes back out of the deal or try to play games. I took my chances. And actually, all things considered, it arrived in fairly decent shape, considering that it basically just put it in a box with no packing. So what did happen to it? Well, the screen is at a bit of a weird angle. Something got kinked under here. I think that's just a matter of kind of reseating the base. I think it kind of got knocked out of position. Other than that, the only issue I see anywhere is the screen cover. Is so often the case. Got a crack up here and kind of some stress marks down here. Some scuffing. Or maybe there aren't any stress marks. Maybe it's just scuffed. Well, what can you do? I'm really hoping that someday somebody makes reproductions of both these and especially the 21-inch. Out of the half a dozen or so of the 17-inch sets I've got, I think only one of them doesn't have a crack in the screen. And typically either up here or down here. We've only got one that's got some cracks right in the middle. So there's that. Otherwise, the other notable thing about this is it's got the UHF option. I've never seen one in person. I knew they existed, I just never saw one. This knob was kind of loose in the box. Doesn't really quite want to fit on there. It looks like it's the right size, but doesn't quite want to fit. I gotta reach out, even though I did a special video on Predicta knobs, because I've never seen a 17-inch with the UHF option in person. I don't know if this is the correct knob. So if anybody out there knows, I'd appreciate if they could tell me if this is correct or not. I think it's a Philco knob because I've seen something similar with similar inserts on one of their portable sets. It's also got the stump of the antenna still here, which is a pretty rare thing. Curious, it's got printing on the back. I've seen that on, I think I've seen one other original one and had similar deal on the back. I don't know what that's all about. It says Dayton, Ohio, where it was manufactured. Maybe this was an adhesive thing at some point. Kind of stuck down on there. Yeah, it's broken off, but even so, just to have this is a good thing, because usually they're gone completely because a lot of these sets ended up in hotel-motel chains. They sealed off the antenna and wired them into the closed circuit system. Otherwise, everything's all here. It's got all the knobs. It's got the back. Got the back CRT cover. It's even got the original power cord left. Other than that, I don't know anything. It's filthy, but this will clean up, I'm sure, no problem. Rusty, can be repainted. It's missing one or two of the feet. It's a common problem. Foot's gone from down here. It should look something like this. You can get reproduction feet. That's no big deal. And it's just missing one of them. And this is in so-so condition. At least it's not Doesn't appear to be cracked. Alright, so all I want to do in this video is take a quick look inside and see if I can reseat this and just test the picture tube. Maybe do a power up. Try to do a power up depending on the condition of what I see inside. Alrighty, here's a look at the back side. I've got a floodlight in my hand. It should provide plenty of illumination. Always screws missing. I got 3 out of 4 on the back. So the top, so you see it's very crooked. There was a big Phillips screw in there. I took that out. That lets you lift the head up. There are some cables attached to it though, so I want to disconnect those. It'll give me a little more play. I can pull it up and see why it's cockeyed. Hopefully nothing's really bent badly. Here's the back. It does have a little bit of damage up there, but otherwise good shape. I took all the screws out, so it's ready to come off. And it's connected by those little antenna things. Let's see if I can pop those out. Hang on. There we go. What it was hung up on was actually the twin lead input for the UHF. The VHF is really mangled. Maybe I can scavenge something out of a part set or rebuild that from some new twin lead and some connectors. So that copper thing, now that is the UHF tuner with the 6AF4 tube. What it does is it now converts the UHF into the VHF region, and it just feeds into the VHF tuner. Otherwise, what do we got? And it is your standard 17-inch Philco Predicta insides. Don't think any work has been done on it. Really thick layer of dust on it. But it looks like they're all the original parts, all the original capacitors. So that's cool. So these cables coming down here, those are the ones that go up to the CRT head. So I got to disconnect a few of them. There's one there. There's another one here. Looks to be in pretty good shape from what I can see. Of course, there's a blanket of dust on everything, so it's a little hard to say for sure. And looks like just some loose tape, masking tape from some probably around those wires up there. Alright, cool. One thing I can't see really is the power supply, which is kind of up in front of this power transformer. There's a fusible resistor in there. I want to see if it's blown apart or not. And what the heck, let's grab a cheater cord and see what happens. Now, I don't recommend this. As some of you may recall, I tried this a while back with a debutante that looked to be in really good condition, and I was able to get a bit of a raster, but while fooling around with it, I got a puff of smoke, raster died, and well, I still haven't gotten back around to it, but something popped and let loose smoke, something down around here. So the only reason I'm doing it is I've got some experience with these, and I've got that guy, which will limit the current. So I just plugged it in. Let's see what happens. I'm on the 4 amp current range right now. Let's see. Yeah, let's let her go. Well, we got current draw right away. Reasonable amount. And the tubes are lit up. So if all we've got is tube filaments, the current will stay steady. If there's some B+, as the tubes warm up, it'll start drawing more current. So that just stays like that. That's a pretty indicator that there's something open in the B plus circuitry, and I would bet it'd be the fusible resistor. Or perhaps the rectifiers are shot. This uses solid state rectifiers. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I bet there's no B plus. Oh, then again, what do I know? We wouldn't have any static if there wasn't any B plus. I just tweaked the volume control. Well, there's also nothing on the screen. Let's see if we can crank the brightness. Starting to smell a little bit of that old electronics smell. Actually, there was all open tubes and red plating. Well, it's just kind of sitting there. So it could be a zillion things wrong with this. Horizontal oscillator might not be running. The pitch tube could be bad. Horizontal oscillator could be way off frequency. Also, nothing happening when I'm changing the channel. There's no static hash coming through. Alright, well, hey, I'll take it. At least we know the tubes light up. That means power transformer filament side is at least good. Alright, so I'll pop this off. Test the picture tube. So you can make out that label back in there. That is the original Philco label. It's the original picture tube, 17 DAP4, runs on 2.68 volts. So you gotta be really careful when you test these. Keep the filament voltage down low. 36 volts of bias, so here we go. Get up to about 2.68. Don't see anything. Oh, yeah, there it is. Just took a little while to warm up. Cool. And actually, I need to go up a range because it's a little bit below 2.5 on that range. It's kind of an annoying thing with these testers. The 2 range doesn't quite get up to 2.68, and the 3 range with the filament set all the way down is a little bit above. But anyways. Hey, we've got cutoff, which is, and it's getting me in the right range. Is a really good sign. We probably have emissions, a little wonky. Don't know why, but so often that's the case. CRTs, when they haven't been tested in a while, the needle kind of swings around for a while. Or maybe it's the quirk with my tester. I don't know. Alright, not the greatest emissions. But it's not dead, so I'll take it. Oh, and they're steadily climbing. Cool. Little life test. Not so good, but heck, it's only been on for what, like a minute? Yeah, that'll produce a picture, no question. Sweet. So, yeah, surface corrosion, some cosmetic damage, some chewed up twin lead, but otherwise, I'm happy. I'm happy. Okay, last thing, let's see what to do about that. I identified the problem with the base pretty quickly. There are 4 machine screws that hold this to the steel chassis, and one of them has, well, I don't know if it's pulled out or if it came loose. This one was pretty loose too. Can't really get in there and tighten it too well with the chassis in place though, so I'm just going to leave it for now and kind of button this thing back up. So that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed this really brief look at my latest acquisition, a 1959 Predicta Princess, and I really got to get back to my ongoing projects because I got a mess down here. That's all for now. Bye. Just kidding. Of course I'm going to take it apart. If for no other reason than I wanted to see what was up with this crooked CRT, and unfortunately the cast aluminum base is bent. I think I can salvage one from one of the debutante sets I picked up a few months ago. I did a video on about Predicta salvaging. Or I can try whacking it back into place, but I suspect it's going to crack, but you know, nothing to lose. Okay, as for the rest of it, we've got some corrosion. I think I will remove everything from this and dunk it in a vat of evapo rust or some type of similar rust remover, and then prime it and paint it. There's that UHF tuner. Rather self-contained. You got some twin lead going in to the from the antenna, and gets down converted to there, and coax goes right into the VHF tuner. And there's the stump of the old VHF antenna. Here is the main chassis with a nice blanket of dust on it. I don't see really any sign of repairs. I brushed a little bit of the dust away here and there, and these look to be all the original caps. The only thing I've seen that's done is a fusible resistor that would have been here. It's been replaced with a power resistor. You can see rectifiers kind of poking through down there. A little metallic thing is one of the rectifiers with a voltage doubler. And there's a cap here, a cap here, and a cap here that all form the power supply. Uses a voltage doubler as memory serves, but it's off the power transformer. This is not a hot chassis set. So aside from the dust, this actually looks to be in pretty good shape. And here's another look at the CRT housing. I did a little bit of cleaning on the top. These tend to clean up really nicely. This plastic holds up really well. Not so much of this. So I now have, I think, 5 of these that have cracks to some extent, including one that's got one right in the middle. So I want to do a little bit of experimenting. I've got one that's got some cracks along the bottom. I think it'd be a safe place to try something. So I think these are made out of some type of polycarbonate, aka plexiglass. So I have seen some videos on YouTube where people have had cracks. I think one of them was like an aquarium, the side of a plastic aquarium, and one was maybe a windshield or headlight cover that had cracks, and they took plastic solvent, which is really thin stuff. I forget exactly what it's called. And you can kind of wick it into the crack, and it will make it far less visible. So I remember on the one with the aquarium, depending on how they tilted the light, you could still see some trace of kind of faint waviness where the crack had been, but it looked a lot better. And I think up here where you don't need to see through it, it could definitely improve things a lot. The one I've got that has some damage right in the center, well, you know, what have I got to lose? I'll give it a try. So as far as this restoring this goes, I got this one. I've got that filthy well, not so filthy anymore, but this is the Siesta I picked up a while ago that had been filthy. And then I've got the Debutante that I picked up a few months back, well, actually a little over a year ago now, that started to work and then kind of went poof. So I got those 3 to restore. So I plan on doing all 3 at the same time. And I have a 4th, which is the Princess that I restored a while ago. Just before we moved, I was doing some final work on it. I had taken the high voltage box apart. It had corrosion on it, and I didn't get around to reassembling it. We had to move, so it's just kind of been sitting here since. But this has been fully recapped and electrically restored, so I think I can use this as a reference to do the other 3. And I'll do all 3 at once. That way I can do like a little assembly line and take out all 3 circuit boards, all of the wiring fresh in my mind, and just bam, 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 knock them all out, and then and compare the performance of all 3. I'll kind of optimize my workbench for just doing these, clear all this stuff out. But before I can do any of that, I have to finish the GE 800 and a few other projects, so that's going to be it for now. Hope you enjoyed this look at a Predicta Princess with the not very often seen UHF option.